From Cowork 591 in beautiful downtown Jesup, Iowa, this is the birthplace of the Bohemian Resistance. We are the Bohemian Underground with producer Blake Tempus and co-host Dale Rueber. I am Jim Gillespie, and this is the news for October 20th, 2025. We're sponsored by Mickey D's Pizza and Lobster. The Pharaohs are kind sponsors of this podcast. Include them at your wedding, graduation, and festival plans. Don't wait. Their schedule is filling up for 2026. They're sponsoring a traveling art show over the Steve Brown Arts Center. Thanks to them for including the traveling art show in their festivities. Another sponsor who's been with us since the birth of the Steve Brown Arts Center is Derek's Repair, located in Jesup, Iowa. Contact Derek Marty for your car repair needs. Also, check out our friend Bubba Seaman on his podcast, What Is Up? Bubba is a lot of fun, so you get a chance, listen to What Is Up. Dale, how's the week going?
Different. This has been a busy month, and especially the last 2 weeks, I've had a lot of different things I had to do, and so I'm not used to that as much, and so it just seemed like it's been busy.
Yeah.
So a lot of things going on, and we sit down at the beginning of every month and fill out a calendar, a bigger one on a whiteboard that you can check on real quick,
right,
to see what you got going that day, and it's amazing how all those little squares just start filling in with this or that. And sometimes it's just like an hour a day for something that it will take very long, but it's such that you can't do much around it, I suppose I could if I really wanted to, but I can read until then, or I can watch TV till then, or whatever. But it's just been very busy. So,
Dale, how did we get those things done when we were teaching?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, you worked harder, and a lot of times when I teach, you had kids at home, which increased the problem because you had to go to their activities and that sort of thing too, but then also they could do a few things to help carry the load too.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, it kind of evened out. But I found you just do what you got, what you need to do. And if this needs to be done, then you do it. And so our problem is that we have, and maybe I will speak for you, but for myself, there are days when I have nothing on the calendar.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do. And so then when things do start to build up, it just seems more active or whatever than I'm used to handling. And so
it is. I'm like you. I got to write my calendar down.
Yeah.
I have a big calendar. I've got a Steve Brown Arts Center desk, and then I've got a individual desk, and I keep that calendar open. I put everything in the Steve Brown Arts Center calendar, and I was looking at that tonight because Bubba, I was trying to set up a time to get together with Bubba Seaman and his wife, and it was like all of a sudden November 8th, and Bubba, I guess November 8th, here it is, and Bubba says, that's almost a month. I know, Bubba. You're right.
My kids have a calendar, Joy's family, and you go in, it looks like a nice big picture on the wall, but you go up and touch it, and it turns into a calendar. And then they got all the picture of each person in the family, even the dog, and then they have all the activities by person under each day and this sort of thing, and it's very complete, and I'd never seen anything like that before. I just thought it was a picture on the wall till my grandson goes, no, you just touch this, and so you know what he has to do each day, and the dad and the mom and the dog and the girl, and
how big is that? How big is that calendar?
It's about half as big as that screen, maybe.
So it's about,
it's a good size, yeah.
So about the size of an average television set.
Yeah, it just turns sideways, it's up and down.
Interesting.
And the picture, it can have, of course, different pictures, when it's not in use as a calendar. It looks very nice. So that's how they keep track of their schedule. But it's important, I think, to have, because my problem for years is that I had this nice calendar all made out, and I wouldn't go in every morning and look at it to see what I had to do that day. And so then I would pass things up because I didn't do them. And so now I'm pretty well trained that, that's one of the first things I do every morning is go and look at that calendar and make sure because I don't trust my memory anymore. There's too many times I forget something. And so
let's compare morning. Let's compare step by step.
Okay.
Okay. You wake up in the morning. The first thing I do is go in the bathroom.
Yep.
Okay. Second thing I do is...
Don't you do anything while you're in the bathroom?
Well, I mean, Okay, we can talk about that.
Okay, well, like I go in the bathroom,
Okay.
and I have my little phone, and I
Okay.
do the New York Times games.
You do?
Yes, I do the spelling bee, and there's one called Strands, or word games, and this sort of thing, and that's my part of my bathroom. I used to read the paper,
Yes.
but now you don't get a morning paper.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I do 2 of those games, then I'm
Okay.
done. Then I go out. Well, usually I go back and finish getting dressed and make the bed, and then I go out and start a pot of coffee and that sort of thing.
Okay, so I go to the bathroom. I weigh myself as the second step,
See, I should do that, and I don't do that. So
and then the third step is I take my supplements. I don't have to take any medication. I a couple eye drops. Do a couple eye drops in the morning. So I take one eye drop and leave the bathroom. Then I go in and make the bed, like you say. And then I have like my sweats out, and because I have a dog, we go for a walk right away.
yeah,
And before we leave to go for a walk, I start the coffee pot, or I start the coffee,
Sure.
so it's ready. When I'm going out to put the dog on the leash, I look at the calendar for the day.
Okay.
So it's the fifth thing I do of the day is
Okay.
look at the calendar,
Yeah.
because if I don't, I miss it.
yeah.
The dog wants to play ball.
Well, sure.
There's 20 buckets of walnuts to pick up. There's 10 buckets of apples to pick. I need to tear down the garden now. So I try to do little things
Sure.
outside. After I walk the dog, I try to spend a half hour outside after I walk the dog. And the dog loves to be outside, so I put her in a pen, and she can watch me and watch other animals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's the start of the day. Interesting. Our days are similar.
Yeah,
Our days are
you know,
similar.
I don't look at that calendar. Usually I know I'm going to get up, go to the bathroom, and have breakfast and do a couple more of these games, and listen to the TV news while you're doing all this other stuff and see what's going on for that day. And then I go in and look at that calendar. I probably should look at it early, but
Yeah.
I very seldom schedule anything real early.
Right.
So,
So Dale, let's sort of counter here. What's the main reason the Republican Party is such a strong supporter of Israel?
I guess I don't really know for anything for sure there. Since the 1940s, I guess, is when all that started, and the United States was the first country to recognize Israel, as I recall. I don't know, because I wouldn't say they were, a friend of the Jewish people so much as in this country. I don't know, because a lot of the people they go after happen to be Jewish, it seems like. So, yeah, I really don't know.
I was looking this up because we have, since Israel was attacked October 7th, 2 years ago, we have donated to Israel $32 billion.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so I researched this, and the reason is the evangelical Christians believe that the first reason is that it will be where Jesus rises again.
They want control of that land.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Israel is the best option, they think. That's the first one. So the evangelicals believe in that. Although they were arguing that Charlie Kirk was going away from that. Most recent argument is that Charlie Kirk was coming out against Israel here 48 hours before he was shot.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people there's a lot of conspiracies about that. But
Well, my whole thing with Israel, and I've read some books about Israel and everything, and their whole thing is never again will we calmly line up and get into cattle cars and be sent off to die. We're going to fight. And the people from Hamas had to know that all this was coming, that Israel wasn't going to say, you got 2,000 of our people and you killed 2,000 and you got these hundreds of captives. What do you want or anything? They had to know that Israel was going to come after them. And so I understood that, and I understood what Israel would do, but I did not take into account war these days is against civilians. I don't know how many Hamas soldiers there are, but 60-some thousand civilians were killed in this by Israel in Gaza, and the place is just leveled. I mean, I don't know if there's places in Gaza where there's intact homes and buildings.
Yeah.
I don't know, but what they show on the TV news is just rubble. And so you think, okay, billions and billions of dollars to rebuild that, and how these people, there's no place for them to work or make any money, and so they're going to be needing assistance for many, many years. So you start to get a feeling about Israel that maybe they're killing a lot of people they don't have to kill, and so it's kind of a strange thing, because you don't like the war and you don't like the pictures of children can't get food. And Israel said, they say Israel's stopping the trucks to come in from coming in because they don't want Hamas to get the stuff, and so it's very complicated, and you can't, I don't think the average person can sit there and sort it all out and come up with any kind of outcome. Even right now, everybody's yelling about how great the peace is and everything, but you give it some time and a lot could change in that, because you're talking about thousands of years of hatred here, and they're not going to get rid of that just in one thing. I've talked too long. Go ahead.
No. You hit it right on the head. 9 people were killed. Nine people in Gaza were killed yesterday by the Israeli Defense Forces.
Well, then Hamas, did you see that picture where they lined people up and got them on their knees and shot them in the back of the head for some reason or another? And
here's the thing. Here's Hamas. If you've donated money by accident to Hamas, you're Hamas. Mm-hmm. Okay, you go to a grocery store. There's some kid that's raising money. Hamas is a political party. It's nothing more than a political party. Well, that's like saying Republicans. The Jews are saying the Republic. I guarantee you 90% of the people in Gaza has donated or given money or taken money from Hamas, because Hamas has controlled Israel or Gaza for years. Since I forget what president was, made them redo the election because they didn't want Yasser Arafat's party.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great success.
Yeah.
And
we've done that in many countries.
We have.
We've got in and meddled with the politics and the leadership, and it always turns out badly. Yeah. And a lot of the trouble they have in the Mideast is because of decisions we made during and after World War II. And, we're supposed to be for the people, and we should have let the people there decide how things are going to go. And instead, people a long ways away decided, no, that guy can't be the leader because we don't like what he thinks. And so they made arrangements to have him removed one way or the other, so they get a guy they thought they could work with who turned out to be horrible. So, we'd have been a lot better off if we had meddled in so many countries over the years, in Latin America and around the world.
The second, third reasons the Republican Party is so supportive is the neocons want a toehold on the Middle East. Israel's a toehold on the Middle East.
Yeah.
Israel's surrounded by Islamic countries.
Yeah, I have heard that we need something over there that's a democracy. So, I've heard that. So,
and then the third reason is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC. I'm sure you've heard of that. President Trump's main donor, other than Elon, and that is Jewish, and part of the AIPAC. He doesn't get her money without supporting Israel. Mm-hmm. And so you listen to Hannity and you listen to Mark Levine.
He's your favorite.
He's my favorite.
Yeah. He's in the bunker, right? The guy in the bunker.
The only show on TV that starts with only show on the radio that starts with the national anthem every day.
Yeah. The worst guys though wrap themselves in the flag.
But they're getting money from AIPAC to say that Israel needs our help. Well, Bibi, what's his name? Rabin is the head of Israel right now. As long as he's in office, he can't be charged with a crime.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as he's out of office.
Yeah.
So I was listening to a podcast today, and they were saying the over and under of him not attacking Gaza is 10 days. Well, what are we in, the third day here?
Yeah.
And the other question, you brought this up so correctly, it's been 3,000 years, and I realized Trump had 20 people, 20 world leaders marching up to kiss his ring. But the only way you did that was pump money in there.
Sure.
Those people aren't going to do it without
Yeah.
billions of dollars going over there.
Yeah. And where's that going to come from?
It's coming from us.
Yes. And we're supposed to be saving money because our debt is up to $37 trillion or whatever in the next few years. And it's piling on. It's almost $2 trillion a year still. Even after all he supposedly saved for us, it's still that's the current rate per year, and so
that's not the Republican Party I know, Dale.
No, they're supposed to be chintzy and cheap.
And as I get older, I understand that. I'm sure there's ways that there's waste of money.
Oh yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
But if you had a charity, you say, okay, they're helping 100 little orphan kids, okay?
Yeah.
And you find out that 2 of those kids aren't orphans. Their families are very wealthy, and they're just getting the money because they want to get more money. So do you drop the program because 2 kids are cheating?
Oh, no.
And the 98, but that's kind of where they're at, though, is that there's a certain small percentage of fraud, and therefore we're going to wipe out the whole program. Well, that's not the way.
And as we head toward a hard network out here at 25 seconds, Dale.
We have hard outs now, holy cow.
We do have hard network outs here. Let's talk about what's coming up after the break here. I want you to think, Dale, about your favorite comics as a youth.
Oh, okay.
Your favorite comics.
All right. I know right away what to say.
Good. Think about that, and we'll be right back.
All right.
This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network, and we're back. We're back in Studio 1 in the Co-work 591 as.
In the Jesup Plaza.
Jesup Plaza.
There are a lot of people outside the window today.
There are. This is probably the largest crowd we've ever had, Dale. Is it possible to turn the camera toward them at all? Probably not. That's probably a good thing.
We probably don't have their permission to put.
Yeah.
They're all looking the other way, too. I don't know what that means.
They don't have a lot.
I should have combed my hair.
They didn't have a lot of smiles on their face, Blake, when you went out there.
Outside?
Yeah.
No.
They weren't happy.
No one was talking, but I saw the looks on the faces.
All right. Well, so the question is, give me your favorite comic growing up, Dale. What was your favorite comic?
As a youngster, my older brother carried the Waterloo Courier. And on Sundays, they had the colored comic papers.
Yeah.
And so he would get the papers and leave one at the house. So I would go downstairs and get the comics and go back upstairs and get back in bed and read the comics every Sunday morning. And there was a comic called Big Ben Bolt.
No.
Okay, Big Ben Bolt, he was the white heavyweight champion boxer of the world. And so then the cartoon was about his adventures in between fights, all the different things. And I really liked Big Ben Bolt. So that's been my favorite comic of all time, I think.
Okay. Mine was actually the Archie.
Okay, the Archie comics.
The Archie comic.
I was just talking about the
newspaper. No, and that's fine. That's fine. I would go to Pat Taylor's barbershop. Pat, bless his heart, my mother would say, "Well, why do you go into Pat Taylor's?
Yeah.
He's got a what do you call the hair that you put on?
Toupee.
He's got a toupee anyhow.
And
I
he's a
looked,
barber?
He did. Yeah, he was a barber. He had a toupee.
Yeah.
But Pat was a good man.
Yeah, I used to love our guy whose name was Smock. Burnell was his first name, which I've never heard anybody else have. But he had all the comic books, and he had an extra barber chair.
Yeah.
And so as you got older, you would go in there and just chit-chat with him and then sit in the extra barber chair and kind of lean back or whatever. And he had tons of comic books.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of us hung out in the barber shop.
Did you really?
Yeah, and he was, not as a group. And he was a very nice man. And I remember he charged for a child's haircut, it was $1. And then he would give you a nickel and a balloon. And so you could take the nickel and go next door to Palmer's Cafe and get a chocolate ice cream cone or a vanilla ice cream cone with that nickel. And the state changed the law where services like that had to charge sales tax. He was outraged by that.
Yeah.
Outraged that it was like 6 cents for every dollar or whatever. So he changed his prices so that if it was like if it was 6% or whatever, he changed his haircut cost 94 cents and then tax was 6 cents, so it was still $1.
Good for him.
Yeah, he was not going to collect that tax
Yeah.
for the government or charge his customers more. And no, he used to go like into nursing homes and help people, and even the funeral homes. If someone a body needed a haircut before the viewing, he would go do that. Never charged anything, just a very nice man. He and his wife adopted a little girl, and he was a big supporter of Hazelton athletics and that sort of thing. Just a great guy. So
I read something rather moving on one of the social media pages the other day. A local lady, Rosie Youngblood, passed away, and two of her daughters. The White's Funeral Home allowed two of her daughters come in and do her hair for her.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's very moving.
Yeah.
That John would allow them to do that.
There was a time, I don't know, would it bother you to touch a dead body? Or?
The only, I touched my mother and father, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, that just really something they would not do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, here are the top 25 cartoons or comic strips, like you were talking about, of all time.
Yeah.
Do you remember Gasoline Alley?
I have seen that in some papers when I'm traveling, but it wasn't real big.
It wasn't big around here.
Around here that I know of.
I don't remember it at all around here.
You read about that.
That's 25. 24, Little Abner.
Love Little Abner. Used to read that every day.
Yeah.
And Al Capp was the creator, and he would go on the Tonight Show, and just as funny. And he had some kind of deformity in his leg, and maybe I don't know if it was from the war, but so he had a hard time walking, or his one foot was turned in or something. And a short little guy, but he was just the funniest guy. You could see why he made a living doing that, because he was just the funniest guy to end those interviews.
Okay. 3, Garfield.
Okay.
Garfield's
still going now.
Yeah, it is. I never liked Garfield. I mean.
Well, I hate pushy cats.
Yeah. Now, 22, Milton Caniff Terry's and the Pirates was Milton Caniff Terry's and the Pirates.
Caniff, he was the author.
Caniff,
he had another one.
Okay.
Another strip. Steve Canyon.
Yeah, I remember that.
We didn't have this one around too much that I know, but Steve Canyon I used to like.
Okay.
I used to like, well, we'll see if she's in there, and then I'll tell you.
All right. 21, Bloom County. I love that one.
Yeah.
Just great humor, the characters
that was a
in
big
there.
penguin. Yeah, that was
the penguin,
fun.
the guy in the wheelchair, the rabbit, and the little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made it all work.
Yeah, he did. Number 20 was the Boondocks. Named I don't know if it was named for our area, but it was satirized American culture.
Yeah. Now, I never heard the word boondocks until I went in the Marine Corps, and out in the woods or whatever, that was the boondocks. And the boots you wore were called boondockers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 19, For Better or For Worse.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Number 18, Doonesbury.
Yeah. Love Doonesbury.
Yeah.
Very controversial sometimes.
Yeah. The number 17, Torchy Brown.
See, I'm not familiar with that one.
No, I don't either. Number 16, this one I remember, Nancy.
Nancy, yeah.
Yep.
Used to read, that was in the comics growing up.
What was the boy's name on there?
Sluggo.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Don't you wish your name was Sluggo?
Yeah. Well, heck, I'll call you Sluggo if that's what you want, Dale.
Really all right. I feel stronger already.
There you go. Number 15, Mickey Mouse.
Yes, I never was a real Mickey Mouse fan.
No, I wasn't either.
Yeah.
Number 14, Life in Hell.
No, I'm not.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Number 13, Tarzan of the Apes.
Yeah, I used to love the Tarzan comic books. I don't remember him being a comic strip.
I don't either.
I used to love the comic books.
Okay. Number 12, Popeye. Yeah, I love that was one of my favorite cartoons too.
Popeye.
Popeye.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the Wimpy.
Wimpy and Olive Oil, and what was the Bluto was the bad
Bluto, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Wimpy was my favorite. You know,
yeah.
Never liked Olive Oil.
There wasn't much to her, was
No,
there?
there wasn't.
They draw her with a pencil line, that was her body.
Little Nemo.
No. I
don't remember that one at all. Number 10, Pogo.
Oh, Pogo was good. We have met the enemy, and he is us. That was the famous thing out of Pogo.
Okay. Number 9, Prince Valiant. That is incredible detail artwork there.
And that's still going in some papers, and I don't know if it's in Michigan or when I travel, the comics in the paper there, they still have Prince Valiant, which I was very surprised at because it hasn't been around here for years.
Okay. Number 8, Superman. That's probably number 2 comic magazine for me. Archie was number 1, Superman number 2. Flash Gordon number 7.
I remember that there was a serial. I must have been serialized movies, and they showed them on early TV in the 50s.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon, like on Saturday morning cartoons, they'd have Flash Gordon also as a live action. And Buster Crabbe, who played Tarzan in many movies, was Flash Gordon.
Number 6, Dick Tracy.
I love Dick Tracy. Somebody gets shot in the head now. They show the little hole going clear through.
Brutal. Number 5, Mutz.
Okay, I think that's still in the paper now.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I think that's still in either the Register or the Courier.
Number 4, The Far Side.
Good.
I love that.
Yeah, I have Far Side books that they hold up.
Yes.
That guy was very clever.
Yes, he was. They got the one on here. They have the cow is standing and one cow yelling car, and the car drives by. The cow is on all fours, and then the car goes by, and they stand up again. Number 3, Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
I never liked that one either.
Yeah, they were very good. When you have a little kid, think like an adult. It's always funny, I think.
Number
the tiger was alive and so on. Yeah.
Number 2, Crazy Cat.
Yeah, I heard that's an old one.
Yeah, and what do you think number 1 is?
Oh, boy.
Take a shot at it.
I think it was Dagwood and Blondie. That's been there forever. Or Beetle Bailey.
Number 1,
Charlie
Peanuts,
Brown. Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
on TV.
And that's still going in the paper. They're rerunning those.
It is,
They're just on a big cycle. Because they had, 20-some years of that? And so they had a lot of cartoons. They just keep running them. So.
All right, here's your challenge. How did Charlie Brown acquire Snoopy?
Oh, he went to the Daisy Hill Puppy Farm.
Dominic is really melancholy. His dog Snoopy's the incarnation of every weird pet. Let's see. It used to tell in here. Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
Doesn't tell in here.
Yeah. My favorite comic right now is called Pickles. Got the old grandparents. It hits you. Right?
Oh, really?
You see yourself. It is very, very funny. And so I get it I bet at least 3 times a week I get a laugh out loud from a Pickles strip.
Oh, no kidding.
And that doesn't happen with anything else.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. But it's the old grandparents and the life they lead with each other. And some of it hits you. I mean, it's real.
Okay. This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. Dale, what do you have?
A couple of things that people need to know from the school. On October 22nd, it said the varsity regional volleyball tournament is going to be at Jesup with multiple schools. I don't know how many schools, but that's going to be held at Jesup if you want to see some regional volleyball.
What's the date of that?
22nd.
Okay.
And the 23rd is cross country, a high school regional tournament, and that's at Eagle Grove, where the kids will be running. And so if you want to see the auditorium, NIC of the North Iowa Cedar League Conference Middle School Choir is going to be singing at our auditorium here at Jesup from 6 to 8. And so I'm not sure what the format is, but as far as I know, that's the first public activity at our new auditorium. So on November 14th, the fall musical is in the auditorium. Probably 14th and 15th, so halfway through November. And so Blake's got 2 brothers in that program, so we're helping out. So it ought to be good.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Okay. I could tell you, too, play practice, it's in full swing, and basketball practices are starting. A lot of the younger kids are playing. And I was going to tell you, I have a note here. Doug Quackenbush.
Yeah.
He lives in San Diego.
Right.
He's back visiting for a few days. And I was over there the other night, and we were talking about the wildfires and this sort of thing get pretty close to him sometimes. And a lot of those fires are started by power lines that go down, start the dry brush on fire. And he was telling me, his dad was asking him if they're burying the lines underground now. And he said, no, the terrain is just very, very rough for that sort of thing. But they're putting steel power poles up, metal power poles instead of the wooden power poles, which you think, well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So they won't burn and fall over. But he also said that the technology is improving so wonderfully that now if a line, like if the winds are really bad and the line breaks, before that line touches the ground, a computer somewhere turns the electricity off in that area so it doesn't start a fire.
Wow.
And I thought, that is just amazing to me.
Yes.
But he said that's the kind of stuff they're working on to try and get rid of some of these fires. And it's made them have to work much, much harder on ways to fight fires and prevent fires in the whole state. And so I thought, well, necessity, right? It's the mother of invention. They need to do this. So it was great. Library this week, the exercise program is on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 o'clock. And there's a story time at 10:30 for the little kids on the 23rd, which is Thursday. There's called Power Up with Protein program at 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning, the 21st, which that's kind of, you power up with protein.
Yeah.
And do you see, though, that there was a show on a little nip on the news the other night that these protein shakes, a lot of them have way too much lead in them.
Yeah,
I don't
those.
understand why they have any lead, but in the shake people say that there's no more than what the government says is safe, but independent testing has found that there's a lot of lead in those protein shakes, and I guess they're not really regulated. They're not FDA approved, and so they're not regulated, and so
Doctors recommend those a lot to elderly people that don't get a lot of protein,
Yeah.
and
'Cause
they're forgive me, they don't taste good in my.
Yeah, I've never had one. They said even things like Boost or those liquid, that you should not do that every day. That is not good for you. There's too much lead. And so, the little boxes of juice that the kids have.
Okay.
Well, this is like a milk. It looks like a thick milk. If you can't eat for some reason, you had to eat with a straw. Your teeth, your mouth was wired shut.
Yeah.
Boost is one of the products they would give you because it's full of proteins and everything else that you could sip through a straw. It's just like a juice box, only it's like a high-powered energy thing that you can. It's because my granddaughter is on something like, and it's just that's her whole diet, and so they have those. But anyway, they were saying you shouldn't have those every day, and so I don't know. But I just, why is there lead in it in the first place? I don't understand why that would.
I don't get it.
It's sort of like even you go to Minnesota and go far north of Minnesota, and you get brochures put out by the state saying the fish caught in those, it looked like clear water, but they have mercury.
Yeah.
There's a mercury problem, and so you shouldn't eat fish every day. And a lot of people, I know, I've done it too, been up there for a week, and every day you'd catch so many fish, and you'd eat them for supper that night. There's brochures saying that's too much mercury just in fish, and it's just in the water, and it gets in the fish, in the meat of the fish, and passes on. So.
It's in the Iowa DNR magazine that you shouldn't eat more than one fish out of the Wapsie out of the week.
A week, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they're saying up there.
Yeah.
And I always considered that the water, especially in northern Minnesota, would be much cleaner than the waters around here because there's no farming.
Yeah.
There's no erosion into the lakes or anything, but they have those available. So I don't know.
Okay.
So,
Well,
okay.
As we head away for our
Second
third half, as we prepare for our third half, make sure you come back to the Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. The Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network, a few things coming up. Don't forget, yesterday we had our jam session at the Jesup Public Library. That'll be our last one till after Christmas now. The holidays get too busy for people, and it just won't work. Next Monday, a week from today, we are having our artist collaboration at Gedney's at 9 o'clock. You're more than welcome to come out. Love to have you. Usually anywhere from 2 to 4 people are there. we've had as many. The most we had at one time was 8 or 9, and it is just a chance to get together and talk about art, have a cup of coffee, and it is. I was thinking about this. Coffee houses have taken the place of bars.
Yeah, in many ways, yeah.
And, that people don't have to worry about getting that envy and losing their license and everything. And, we have, don't forget that November 13th, we are showing Billy Joe Oldakowski. We're showing Debbie Christian, we're showing Pat McIntosh. We're showing the Brownson, a young Brownson girl, one of our board members' daughters, former board members' daughters, and we are showing, Oldakowski, McIntosh, and we are showing the third one. The third one is blocking my mind here.
It'll pop in there for you.
It will. It will. That is November 13th. Then we're doing our podcast on YouTube that night, and Tim Kimmer is doing a concert for us. So there might be a couple guest singers.
Special extra guests, or extra special guests singing along.
Singers and musicians as well. Then our artist at M's for November is Debbie Christensen, former Jesup student. And then our artist for December is Billy Joe Oldakowski. I got to do a shout out here, Dale. Olivia Fresh set up the Farmers Market After Dark here a couple Saturdays ago now. Just incredible. She had music, 2 food trucks, a coffee truck, all sorts of vendors, great crowd.
Okay.
It was, we had Katie Balvans and Billy Joe Oldakowski painted and worked with people as they came around. Joe Olson had his apple juicer over. It was a nice night, and the weather was very nice. So, Olivia, thank you so much for doing that. It is wonderful. Something else I'd like to talk about, an institution is closing in Jesup.
Yeah, I saw that. It was on Channel 7 News.
Yeah, Channel 7 News as Dairy Cone. The other half is closing. They're open as long as they have ice cream and food in their freezer.
Yeah. Sent my kids an email about that, and they sent back saying, get some Willy bars. So I have to go down and see if I can get a bag of Willy bars and freeze them. I don't know how long they'll last in a freezer.
There you go.
That's what they're saying. Get some Willy bars. So.
Yeah, my favorite, and I was talking to former guest Jason Ohl last night on the telephone. He called and said, gee, I see they're closing Dairy Cone, and it was on Channel 7. He said he used to save $2 every day and go down and buy an Alaskan Shake Sundae.
Oh, sure.
And have that when he was a kid.
And you don't really, I've never seen that item on any other menu anyplace. It was just no, the first day we came to Jesup, and my dad and my brother helping us move, and I bought them tenderloins down at the Dairy Queen.
Oh, yes,
that was about the only place they had. And so it's been there, I know, at least 50 years, and I'm sure much longer than that. It really is, though. Been there a long time, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, Lily Johnson. Johnson is the third artist. Okay. I did. And Sophia Brownson is the name of that young lady. She's a 7th grader over in Waterloo. So please come on over. The art show's from 5 to 8 over in at Gedney's. But back to Dairy Cone, other half. Old George did a great job with that. Sold it to Nancy, and then Nancy sold it. We are down to Joe's Pizza and Quick Star and Casey's. Yeah. But there is talk in the underground. There's talk in the Bohemian Underground, Dale, that a coffee shop is opening.
Oh, okay.
In town here, so you and I can have coffee.
Travel so far, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I hate to see that close. I keep thinking that like Zach Knutson or somebody like that should get a conglomerate of people, investors together and buy the dairy cone and keep it going as a nonprofit of some kind or whatever. Like some communities will do that with their grocery store or with their movie theater. They would just run it. Some volunteers will run it, and whatever profits they do may just go into the city or some project or whatever. But so I don't know, Zach Knutson.
Not that Zach doesn't have enough other things on his plate,
young,
Dale.
So one more thing won't bother him.
Yeah. Zach, notice that's Dale Rueber, Reuber, saying that.
I will put some money into it if he would get it going.
But I always thought a half grocery store, half either coffee house or half bar would go. Yeah. I think we've talked about that.
Yeah. Well, we hate to wreck the Littleton Lounge's business because they seem to be doing pretty well every time I drive by there.
They do very well.
What do they say? When a window closes, a door opens, or whatever. It's what's bad for some people is good for somebody else, and so it all evens out over time, I guess.
Well, and I tell you that the Littleton Lounge has sponsored us more than one time. They sponsored the Art Center more than one time. So, I got to advise you to. I got to advise the audience, make sure you go out to Littleton Lounge and support them.
It's a good place to have lunch.
Yeah.
I've heard that. And so,
Don't forget our 24-hour Mustang camera sponsored by Joe's Pizza in Independence. It's been up and live for over a year now. I'm always looking for artists. Billy Joe introduced me to a couple new artists, two photo artist recently, then I'm excited to share with you guys. Dale, you've got news on Quickstar and Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth. Yeah, I talked, was that just last week, about Quickstar is going to stop using pennies, and there's a follow-up article, last Sunday's Des Moines Register. Very quickly, Quickstar is going to start, for cash purchases, they'll round down to the nearest nickel, so they will not be using pennies anymore. And original article said the stores will keep using pennies till they run out of pennies, and then they'll go to this. If you buy gas and it's like $9.75 or $9.78, it'll be $9.78. It's only cash purchases where it's rounded down. It's in the customer's favor. And so this article is a little bit longer, and it talks about why are retailers eliminating penny use, and pennies actually cost around 3 cents each to make, and for decades their usefulness has been questioned. The history of the penny goes back to 1787, when Congress authorized production of a copper coin called the Fugio cent. According to an online history of the Treasury website, the coins featured a sundial on the obverse and a chain with 13 links equal to the number of American colonies on the reverse. Did you know that the opposite of the reverse is the obverse?
No.
I had never heard that before, but from the context here, there's the obverse side, then the other side is the reverse.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that.
I did not either.
Okay. When this penny, 5 years later, the original penny was replaced with a larger coin that featured a depiction in profile of a goddess like Liberty along with her name. When it debuted, its inflation-adjusted value was equivalent to about 32 cents in today's currency. So that means today what you could buy with a penny, that same penny when they came out was worth about 32 cents in today's money.
Wow.
So the Lincoln penny started in 1909, and it's got a copper color, but the coin is made of zinc and is plated with copper. Supporters of the penny have argued that it helps keep consumer prices lower and is a source of income to charities which collect the easy-to-part-with pocket change in donations and redeem them by the thousands. But for many Americans, the coin has become a nuisance, piling up unused. YouTube is full of videos of people dumping pennies onto the sidewalks, only for passersby to ignore them rather than pick them up. But do you stoop over and pick up a penny if you see it?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Do you?
I usually wait till I get a quarter or something. My thing is, the good guy that I am, well, some little kid will see that and want that, and it'll mean more to him than me. But actually, coins meant a lot to me because I could spend a nickel. I could get a candy bar, a bottle of pop, or whatever, But now kids don't spend money like that. If your kid asks for money, usually you give him a $20 bill because that's what it takes to get him through the ball game or whatever. But
let me give you a number here that just stuns me. This was when I was teaching. One of the last years I was teaching would have been 2019, 2008. The average high school student was spending in our country $200 a week.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. I remember years I didn't spend $200 a year.
Yeah.
So, the Department of Government Efficiency said producing pennies in fiscal year 2023 cost taxpayers more than $179 million. Many other countries have eliminated small denomination coins. Canada stopped making pennies in 2012. Pennies are still in circulation that can be used, but they don't make any more. Australia stopped circulating 1 and 2 cent coins in 1992. Other small denomination coins may soon be on the chopping block. In 2024, a nickel costs 13.78 cents to produce. It's almost 3 times its value, according to a U.S. Mint report. The Treasury plans to put its final batch of pennies into circulation in early 2026. And all this leads up to the last paragraph, which I found astounding.
Okay.
A June survey by the National Association of Convenience Stores found that eliminating the use of pennies would save retailers 2 to 2.5 seconds per transaction. With an average of 52 million cash transactions at convenience stores each day, that would save the equivalent of 3 years of production time daily if the kids didn't have to count out the pennies in all these stores. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I just thought that was that actually somebody figured all this out too, and twice as many consumers favor getting rid of pennies as keeping them. And Quick Start, like everybody else, says we're waiting for the government to make up their mind to make everything official, but until they do, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And because they can't get the government. So I have time for the Baby Ruth, the baseball thing.
Yes, you do.
All right. My son-in-law, Kevin Harris and Johnston, sent this to me. He said, this looks like something you could use in your podcast. I said, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, okay. And I know we've talked about this before. It's easy to assume that Baby Ruth candy bars were named for the famed baseball player George Herman Babe Ruth Jr. Indeed, even the great Bambino, even Babe Ruth himself, assumed so at the time. After all, the nougaty confection debuted in 1921 after the ball player became a household name. But according to the official legal explanation of the moniker, Baby Ruth bars were named after
The daughter of a president.
after a different Ruth altogether, the daughter of former U.S. President Grover Cleveland.
Yeah.
When the confection first hit the market, its low price tag of 5 cents, which was half the cost of candy bars at the time, made it an instant hit for the Curtis Candy Company, as did its connection with the famous Yankee slugger. It was so successful, Babe Ruth decided to get into the candy business himself. He founded the George H. Ruth Candy Company and developed the Ruth Home Run Bar, featuring his likeness on the wrapper. Curtis Candy Company took the ball player to court, alleging that its candy was not named after Babe Ruth and the athlete was taking advantage of the success of Baby Ruth with his competing candy. In a deposition, Curtis founder Otto Schnurring claimed the bars were named after Baby Ruth Cleveland, who was born between her father's 2 terms as president. Her birth sparked a national obsession, but she died of diphtheria in 1904 at just 12 years of age. Schnurring admitted that he hoped Babe Ruth's notoriety would help with merchandise. The court ruled in favor of Curtis, but many in the American public still aren't convinced. Popular fact-checking site Snoops.com even considers the claim that the candy bar was named after Ruth Cleveland to be patently false, pointing out that the candy company has made some suspicious claims about the origin of the Baby Ruth name. For instance, it claimed that Ruth Cleveland visited the Curtis factory, but Curtis was founded in 1916, 12 years after she died. So I think what they're saying is they wanted to use Babe Ruth's name but not have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And that's what they came up with.
Yeah.
They had, by the numbers, 40 different states dropped Baby Ruth bars from the air in major markets to get them started. Yeah, there were 3 grams of protein in a standard Baby Ruth bar. Butterfinger bars is also a Curtis product. We talked about it a minute ago off air, 1923. And so, last little thing here, which I found, you can't do this anymore, this kind of advertising. When Hershey's milk chocolate bars launched in 1900, there weren't a lot of grab-and-go meal options available. Milton Hershey developed the candy to fill this void, specifically, for long train rides, and advertised it as more sustaining than meat. Chocolate bars ran with this marketing angle for the next few decades. Knickerbocker Chocolate Company described its Sportsman's chocolate bracer as 2 flat cakes of delicious eating chocolate, which can be eaten straight or between 2 slices of buttered bread in the form of a sandwich. Candy bars called Chicken Dinner and Chicken Bone were named not because they contained chicken, but to evoke the sense of a satisfying meal. Curtis made similar claims about Baby Ruth, which was advertised as both an energy bar and a complete luncheon for 5 cents. So
Interesting.
I don't think you could get away with that kind of stuff anymore. So anyway, history's a lot of fun.
Oh,
you go
it
back
is.
And
It
You
is.
find a lot of things that are very interesting in history. So I urge all of our listeners to go out and get a history book and start reading away.
We have just a couple announcements here. Former guest Alberta Parrish, she was on from Atlanta. She's from Atlanta. She came to Iowa to watch Caitlin Clark play.
Right. Okay.
She did a book, Beyond the Arc, Caitlin Clark's impact on the world of women's sports. Well, she's out with 2 more books. Most recently, Age of Wilson, the greatest of all times, just came out on Amazon. You can get that through a Kindle edition. And another book she just finished recently that's on Amazon is the Book of Dreams, Messages from the Beyond the Grave. Both of those are $1.99. So please support the artists that are on.
Yeah, she was a very nice lady.
She was.
Talked about, she rode the bus up to Indiana from New Orleans, and very nice lady.
She is. So remember, please, that if you'd like to donate to the Steve Brown Arts Center and have an idea for an event, go to the SteveBrownArtsCenter.org and follow the link. If you have news or would like to sponsor us, email us at jim@SteveBrownArtsCenter.org or call 319-290-0241 and leave a message or say something to Dale or Blake.
I will talk to you.
I'm Jim Gillespie with co-hosts Dale Rueber and producer Blake Tempus. Our thanks as always to Kelly Seahouse and Cowork 591 for hosting us and sponsoring us. Thanks to the audience for bringing these stray dogs into your life, and remember that each day is about little victories.